Good afternoon or good evening. Welcome to the Mancunian way. I hope you are all good. Today is Derby special, and you've got myself, as you know, and you've got Pat. Good morning, mate. How are you?
Hello, Martin. Hello, everyone. Doing all right, thank you. Could do a couple more hours sleep, but I will cope. Don't worry about me.
Rich is going to join us, hopefully. But I wanted to get a United fan on. Wanted to get a sensible United fan on, though. And there are not many out there, but I found one. Someone who I do have done shows with before. Really top guy. Show him a lot of love. Don't even need to. I will talk about his channel, but all of you are subscribed anyway. So there's no point in me like saying go and subscribe because you will do anyway. Cass from Never a Foul. How are you, mate?
Recovering.
Yeah, you're not been too
glad to be here, though. Yeah, I'm still recovering from illness. Today, I thought, yeah, you know what? After doing the stream last night, I thought, yeah, you know what? I'm ready to come back to start doing 2 shows a day, all of that kind of stuff. And then before you know it, in bed this morning, I was thinking, oh, mate, I'm feeling dizzy again. So yeah, that's been my life for the last 2.5 weeks.
Cass, can I start by saying, first of all, thanks for coming on, but second of all, I know I've said it to you before in your chats, but appreciate the Socceroo scarf in the background as always.
Oh yeah, it's a pleasure, mate. You got to represent them.
don't be giving him props.
Well, he's got a nice prop in the background.
Yeah. And of course, we've got Uwe Rosler's granddad, who's here. Morning, Rich.
Good evening, everyone. How are you all?
Is it still evening in your head?
I'm on time. I'm on UK time, so yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I pretty much am on UK time, so
yeah.
You're not, you're late. Mingy Wong, thank you for renewing your membership for the 5th month. You are a superstar. Thank you so much. We're only having sensible people on tonight, so that's why Alan is not here. So yeah, it's Manchester Derby. That's all we're going to talk about tonight, because now I've heard all sorts over the last few days. I've heard United fans say they're hoping for 4-0 and just keep the score down. I've heard some say they've got a ticket for half time and they're getting out like they did last season. Many things. But and this is the only City-itis part that is still left in me. I hate derbies, don't like them, don't enjoy them, because form goes out the window. I'm an old school blue that remembers us going there with Benjani and winning, going there with Ian Brightwell and scoring. So, listen, form's out the window on a derby. Now, I know.
You should be worrying about Andrei Kanchelski's hat-tricks, Martin. That's what really brings trauma.
Listen, we won't have Simon Tracy in the goal this time. Smart.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, we'll start. We'll go around. Cass, I'm going to start with you, because obviously, where are you at with this derby? Are you in the hope and pray camp, or are you in the? Where are
you? See, I never jumped on the Guinea train. I jumped off of that when we lost 3-0 to Bournemouth at home. So anyone that's thinking that I'm going to come on in and think I'm going to give it a bit of optimism, say, yeah, maybe if you do. No, I'm sorry, I don't. I'm defeated. Or like, it sounds crazy, but I feel defeated already before the game's even started. They always say he's pulled out the window, but with Ten Hag, mate, he makes everything look absolutely 10 times worse. I'm going to be honest. The only hope that is saving grace is, in my mind, is that Chelsea went there and got a draw, and maybe they might have got a win or something like that. But I just don't. With Man United, with all the players that are out, it's just like it's like bread. It should be bread and butter for someone like Pep Guardiola, because he knows Rashford's going to play out front. He knows Garnacho is going to play off the break, whether it's more than likely off the left, and he knows what midfield's going to start. That's the only thing. And then you got Foden and Haaland, who just love a game against Man United, especially Foden. You know, they get it. Where I don't think some of these lads get it still. Like, you know, you just don't know what's going to turn up. Sometimes we might have some technical ability. Sometimes you might know how to defend. And then sometimes we might just absolutely get smashed. you know, and that's been a fair few times, especially when you boys just hit Luton for how many. I think we'll score against you lot, but I don't think I think the scoreline's going to be disgusting.
Yeah, but Cass, we've already scored our 6 against Luton, so that's what scares me.
Do you know what scares me? You got Varane, who's probably going to go off injured, and you've got Lindelof. And who else? Who do you want in the air against them two? Not Haaland, right?
Oh, there's only one Johnny Evans. Come on.
I'd rather play Johnny Evans than what's his name than Lindelof. That's me being dead serious.
Might actually put in a better shift.
Yeah,
you never know.
Just to let you know, Cass, Rich has his dogs coming in to do cameos during the show.
They offer good insight that way.
And they're agreeing that they both reckon we're going to get 5. Just saying.
City's a weird one, though, because when you expect them to batter a team, it's a low score. But when you don't really expect them to batter someone, like no one expected them to go to Luton and batter them the scoreline that happened. And, you know, it happened. It's just, I think City's a bit hot and cold. But we know, you pretty much got your whole full 11, I think. Or
yeah,
you know,
everyone but Grealish.
Yeah, that's the biggest shame. I think Grealish typically that's the one where he hurts United all the time. All the time. Like, and he's just
you probably know what, you know, because I know what Naps thinks about Grealish and City, so you probably hear it all the time. When Grealish is in our team, it suits our style, it suits everything about us. You saw that for the first 30 minutes on Tuesday. So, and it is blow that he's out, and we will get into where we think that could be covered. But later on in the show, I will throw out what will be the real conundrum that everyone's going to have to think about, because I don't trust Pep to not put somebody else within the 11, which I think will really change it all up.
As long as Foden doesn't go in the middle the way that he hasn't, I don't know why he still hasn't continued to put playing down the middle, which I think has been his best position, then I think I might be all right a little bit, because I think Dalot's been our most popular player. So
yeah, I think you're touching on a discussion probably for another day, but it's how we can get De Bruyne and Foden playing together at their best in the middle, because the best we've seen from both Foden and De Bruyne this season is when the other one hasn't been playing, or for moments late in the game as substitutes. But generally, they both want to go and control the game in the middle and have the freedom to move around and be at their best. So we've got to figure out how, and, you know, I think we should probably chat about this on another Thursday night show when there's less, you know, there isn't a derby coming the next day or Liverpool, but we've got to figure that out, because I don't think Pep has quite figured out. And so we'll probably see Foden, I suspect, going out onto the wing, or a more wide position, or a more, you know, taking up a bit more, you know, out on the edge, to give De Bruyne the freedom in the middle. Because it's hard to, after Luton, not to let De Bruyne have that role again, you know, that he is the best in the world at.
See, this is my thing. I'm with Berger here. I'm not getting all excited. I've seen City beat United when they were top dogs and we were utter crap. And this is my thing with derbies. I've seen us beat Van Nistelrooy and all of them in the pomp. I've seen us beat, you know, Roy Keane and all them in the pomp. So derbies are a leveler. You know, people forget this. They are a leveler. And United do have, we'll talk about later on, they do have key components all over that pitch. Pat, I mean, how are you confident-wise for this derby? Are you in the... Because there are some Blues that are out there that think 5-6s are going to go in the back of the net.
Yeah, I think just typical nature with every derby. It's if we're the form team, it's quiet confidence. And if we're not in form, I think it's quiet hope. I'm certainly on the... you know, I'm certainly more leaning towards, obviously, quiet confidence. But the thing that can determine a lot of derbies as well, too, for me, and you've seen it in recent history, is sometimes you just need one moment or one little piece of play to really change the landscape of how a derby sort of pans out. You know, and I'm not going to go back to, you know, last season Old Trafford or anything like that, but you know, I mean, I look at the coming out of COVID season when we went like 20 odd games unbeaten and then lost then it all fell apart when we played United at home. They had a penalty inside the first minute or something, and that was just something they could hold on to for the rest of the game. So I'm not saying that that's the be all and end all of what United need to do to win this, but I'm just saying it's just so many of these contests have been determined by one particular play. Could be anything from a tackle to a red card to a poacher's goal or anything like that. Just something that a team can hold on to, and I think United can play well on their day, especially on Derby Day, because I think, like you said, I think form just completely goes out the door as soon as both teams cross the white line. So again, I'm confident that we will stick to our game plan and be able to get the job done. But like I said, it's just if things don't quite go the way they go, it doesn't take much for the other team just to get in there and make a contest of it. So that's the only thing that's one of the main things that always makes me a little bit nervous whenever derbies come around.
I must admit, Pat, I actually think we're going to really tighten up. I think we're going to play a much more defensive team than most people think. I think there's going to be,
well, I saw them,
probably we will. I think we'll play I think we'll have three relatively, controlling midfielders in the game. I think we'll play, we'll have a very strong back four, and I think we'll play for a 2-0 or something. I think we'll be tight. I think we'll show respect, and I think Pep is going to set up for this next month to play far tighter than we have for a long time. And we're going to get back into that rhythm of last year where we're going in thinking primary objective, we're not going to concede. We're going to score 1 or 2, maybe 3, and we're going to just really fight hard for that win. I don't think we're going to be going out gung-ho, like we did against Luton. I think we'll see a very different City team.
And Rich, basically, since we played Everton at home, I think this is the most defensively sound we've been all season.
Yeah,
and the most defensively sound I've seen us. It reminded me really about this time last year when we really started to hit our stride as a back three or a back four, depending on who we'll.
Yeah, everyone's going on about Doku, Bob, Nunes. I don't think we'll play any of them. I think we'll be actually playing a really solid 11 and going for real quality possession control. So I think everyone is thinking some mad storyline, mad scoreline. I think our biggest focus will be holding United out and getting a couple of goals.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with you, mate.
Good evening, Coffee. How are you, mate? Hope you're enjoying yourself. You've got no dog in the fight this weekend on this one, but I hope you're well. Cass, where is it you think United could hurt there? Obviously, you talked about Rashford, Garnacho. Where is it you think you can get some joy?
Down the wings. You have to hurt them down the wings. That's the only way I look at it is exactly how Chelsea set up against you boys, or even what's it called? I know there was a bit of luck between in the Liverpool game, but everything always where City's I think is most vulnerable is down the wings. When Kyle Walker gets forward. When Nathan Ake, or at that point it was Vardy, likes to get a little bit forward. That's the only way, because Rodri's in the middle, but that partner with Rodri, I haven't really seen who's nailed down that position next to Rodri, because the one that's been covering, whether it's Mateus Nunes or somebody else, it hasn't really looked that comfortable. But recently, I would say Kovacic. If I was Pep, I would play Kovacic in the middle next to Rodri, because Kovacic has a great game against us, and anyone with a touch of technical ability will hurt us. And that's a fact. We're going to have to play break. That's the only way you're going to beat City is playing break. Because we don't have the players to play football, right? And we've got quite a big injury list again, but not like a one where it's like he's out for like a whole month or something. Martinez isn't back till after the break. Højlund isn't back till next week. Bruno Fernandes, question marks. I hate him anyway, so I don't want him to play. Gets on my nerves. All he does is moan.
Cash, you're like this. I've always said Bruno Fernandes is the only player in football history to man-mark the referee.
Yeah, literally. So it's just like the only way I would look at it is it's a bit of a similar job that happened last year where Fred just man-marked De Bruyne. Someone just man-marked De Bruyne, please. And then obviously you can think of other stuff, but I think he's going to put Amrabat on De Bruyne. I think he's going to play him at left back and have some cover going around and have Casemiro trying to cover the lines, which was kind of similar to Morgan Gibbs White against Forest the other day, or was it yesterday? And that was an awful performance, by the way. That was terrible. It's just got to be a scrap. It's who wants it more. That's the way I look at it, and I don't believe in this manager to do anything that I even suggest whatsoever, anyways. So yeah,
are you saying that because is Luke Shaw still out injured?
Yeah, that guy's finished.
Yeah.
I need him to get.
Because I think he's a huge piece to how well galvanized your defense is.
I don't know how long Luke Shaw's out for, but I heard till about April. But you might as well write him off. Yeah, he's garbage.
Yeah, because I've always said the important thing with Luke Shaw is how well he galvanizes your defense. I think he's a huge piece. I think he's a huge piece in Derby days.
Yeah.
I think I suspect Ake and Walker will start, and I suspect they won't be pushed up in the same way.
We'll get into that, Rich,
because I think we're going to see John Stones is getting back to his best. I think that performance against Bournemouth was the best we've seen of him this season. He was incredible the way he got around. He's playing at number 10, number 2, number 3, number 7, number 6. So I think if he's starting to do that again, then hopefully that means Walker and Ake can actually take less responsibility pushing up, because other players can push out wide up top with Stones going up the middle. And I think Kovacic is a good call, because I think he's been one of our better players the last few weeks. I think he's really started to come good, and he's started to do what he does best, which is taking the ball on a turn and actually taking it forward. And I think more effectively than Nunes at the moment. But I mean, I am expecting that to be quite tight, and we'll probably have the ability to have Stones, Bernardo, Kovacic, and Rodri all in that midfield if we need them, and we need to get control there.
Thank you to Sub2 for renewing your channel membership for a 6-month. You are a legend. Thank you so much, mate. Much appreciated for your amazing support. I'm going to ask about somebody else. This is where my issue lies for Sunday. It's not even Kovacic. It's Julian Alvarez.
He needs to get dropped, isn't it?
Is Pep Guardiola going to have the bollocks to drop him for 3 games? Or not drop, rotate. I'm going to say the rotate word. Is he going to do it for 3 games? Or is he going to overcomplicate again, stick Foden out on the wing, and let's have a midfield of Bernardo and Foden and KDB and Alvarez, or Bernardo even goes out? I don't know. This is my thing. Alvarez.
No, I don't think Alvarez will start. Honestly, I think Foden and Bernardo will nominally start wide front, and we'll have Kovacic, Rodri, and De Bruyne in midfield. But I think really what that means is De Bruyne, Bernardo, and Foden will be playing a flexible 3 behind Haaland, as opposed to when Alvarez plays and we play almost a 1-4-1. I think will be a 2-3-1, because we'll have Kovacic with Rodri to keep control. And so I think often it'll be, and Stones, I think, will also be given a lot of freedom. I think he's going to be sneaking up in front of, Rodri and Kovacic and getting a bit of freedom in behind. So I think he'll be pretty important in the game.
I think Foden's going on the wing regardless. De Bruyne's going to go in that hole, or maybe out wide, and then you're going to see Kovacic and Rodri, and then probably Bernardo and Foden. That's what I think it's going to. That should be. I think Doku's been pretty poor for you boys. I don't think Nunes really moves the needle too much. I don't think you need a ball carrier in a game like this, because I don't think Man United's going to set up too high up the pitch regardless. And then, but the thing is, what I don't understand is, if you're going to play Stones and he falls into that role next to Rodri, then there's not really there's no point for Kovacic, in my opinion, to keep the ball ticking. You probably want another attacking player.
Stones will go through. Stones will go straight past Rodri and Kovacic and probably be playing in between them and the attack. Because I think Kovacic, you talk about the ball carrying. If we do need ball carrying, Kovacic can do that. He does that very effectively, better than in many ways. Certainly in our half, better than Nunes does in terms of his ability to turn and run. But it's possible that Kovacic doesn't play and he relies on Bernardo to go into midfield with Rodri and plays, you know, an Alvarez or a Nunes or someone a bit more attacking. But I just think we're going really tight for March. I think it's going to be all about getting a 1-0 win, not conceding, getting control, getting a win, and that's all that matters.
I'm the opposite. I've got Kovacic not in my 11.
Yeah, I don't see
I'd just
any.
be surprised when he's I mean, it's possible, but I just think Kovacic's been one of our better players of late. So I'd be surprised. And in a big game where we want to win.
Me saying about Alvarez and Kovacic does not mean I think they're a bag of crap. I'm saying what suits this game. What suits this game. I don't think you cannot go at home with Kovacic and Rodri. For me, you need to be a bit more, because Bernardo has to play. Foden has to play in the midfield. Foden out wide is a waste. Absolute waste. It
is, but we haven't figured out how to do that with.
No, we have. It's worked when Alvarez is not in. The key to it, Rich, is when Alvarez is stuck in the middle of that three. That's when it doesn't work.
I agree. I think it gets way too crowded, but I think it almost gets crowded with those two. But when you add in Alvarez, it makes it more so, and that's why I've always said I want them to try and work out how to play Alvarez in that David Villa role, because he's a great player. He works bloody hard. Actually, tracking back and working on the wing, supporting the fullback, would be incredibly useful when we're playing Walker like we do, and. He can finish and he can assist, but I don't see him as like a number 10. I see him as either a centre forward when Haaland's not playing or a wide forward.
See, I've got Nunes on the left.
You lot really need to win this game though more than ever, because I don't see you lot winning at Anfield, and if you drop points at this stage when you've got Arsenal battering everyone that's around, and then Liverpool. Liverpool got Nottingham Forest. They might find it a bit tricky, so there might be a little bit of a bit. But I think this is where Pep gets into his bag. It's around now, isn't it? It's just about to hit March on a weekend.
Yeah.
So
I must admit, I'm feeling supremely confident about Anfield. I mean, I think the Liverpool hype train has reached levels never previously seen. And when 11, 14, under 14s players, all born in Bootle, when the Carling Cup last week against the multi-billion Chelsea, the fact that they can just pull out the under 14s and become the best players in the world overnight is just shows how utterly deluded they're getting. And I usually think when they get deluded they get a bit of a battering, and honestly that Arsenal game told me that Arsenal are a team to be far more worried about than Liverpool, because Arsenal totally outclassed Liverpool.
Liverpool at Anfield is no matter how crap that team might look on paper, as soon as the crowd gets up for it and Pep does something or Kyle Walker does something, just
when they put the tape recorder on to try and get the fans singing.
That.
I mean, they can turn the tape recorder up, but the best. I just think that I've not seen Liverpool look good against a big team this year. We should have battered them. We were robbed by a corrupt refereeing decision. I've just not seen them look good. Maybe Arsenal in the FA Cup, they looked the better side, but generally they look like flat track bullies who can beat the bottom half of the league by 3 or 4, but they look suspect against any decent opponent. So I hope Pep goes there and puts his foot down. But where there is a bit of worry is that Pep has a bit of a tendency to overthink Liverpool and do something stupid because he gets nervous. And he should.
Keep your 11s coming in and your formations. I am starring them. I'm going to come back to them later on. I'm with Rich on that one, Cass. I'm confident. Not saying I'm confident of winning at Anfield. I think we'll get something at Anfield, simply because their team is so depleted. I think
I'm more worried about. I think Arsenal at home will be a harder game. I think Arsenal are a better team.
Well, the weird thing is,
and a big thing too is when you play a certain team. Because the last few seasons we've always played Anfield in the first half of the season when we're still trying to figure stuff out. Now we're hitting our stride come March, which we always do, and I think it just not completely changes, but it just means that there's a lot more cohesive form amongst the entire squad. And I don't think the fact that the history at Anfield, our history at Anfield is poor. I just think they stick to their game plan. And I think it'll be we'll make it really, really tough for Liverpool. I expect them to lift. Yeah. I 100% expect them to lift, but but we will be on it. Like we'll be ready. We'll be ready for them.
Yeah. But Arsenal will be a harder game. Arsenal is the biggest game title-wise in March.
I think Liverpool got back next week. They got Trent, Szoboszlai back. They got Salah back fit.
Trent back. I thought Trent was out for a bit longer.
I think he's out till only next week. Didn't he not get some in the round? I think he is around.
Honestly, I hope he's back because if they play him fullback, I think until they stop trying to play Trent as a fullback, he's a weakness in their team.
I don't think so. I think anyone that calls Bradley over Trent is deluded. I think Trent's actually been sound defensively this year, in my opinion.
Watch the Arsenal game. The whole Arsenal plan was about exposing Trent, and they just ruthlessly,
Trent's
the return here. This is just on the Premier League one that they did. They put the end of March.
I need you lot to beat them. I look as much as
no, you do. I know you do. You've said this to me 1,000 times.
I hate Liverpool with a passion. They need to get knocked off their perch, off the top spot at the moment, because it's really not. I hate to say it. I want Arsenal to do something this year for me, but I just cannot stand Liverpool. But they just somehow it doesn't matter what 11 they've got. You can't write them off, even if they're 1 or 2-0 down at half time. You know they're going to score 2 or 3 goals second half. And that's
yeah. I mean, listen, I think we spoke about it on yours, Cass, on Mondays. It's going to be one hell of a race.
We're playing Sunday. I'm just hoping.
It's going to be fun.
Like when I think about who the big teams have gone to, your gaff this year, Liverpool, that was 1-1. Chelsea, that was what was that again? That end 1-1, right? Tottenham 3-3. Like I look at it and I just think a lot of these teams set up quite similar. Even a Newcastle one, when you only beat them 1-0, everyone's sort of quite similar, bar Newcastle, who typically go for it. I'm only in hope that Man United can get something. But even if Man United did get something from it, it doesn't change my mind about Ten Hag. Because it's going to be garbage, and we probably get helped by a referee. If not, it's a dodgy goal, or we've just been defending quite well.
That's you about me, Ten Hag, Cass. Because I've heard you and I've heard others talk about it. Because obviously you're changing things now. You've got Omar Bernardo. You're going to get Dan Ashworth. You're doing the bits you wanted. You're slowly but surely getting the Glazers kind of out to hoping one day that happens.
Out. Get them out. I know a lot of these players are not good enough, but it doesn't mean I don't think Ten Hag's not good enough. That space between the midfield and the defense has been criminal for way too long. Since that Wolves game, since the first game of the season, that space he just does not rate, and he relies. He thinks that the defenders are going to win their 1v1 duels all the time. I've had enough of the tactics.
He just can't keep things going. I think.
I thought he would change. After the season we had, I thought, you know what, he's got to kick on and he's got to try something.
Yeah.
And then
you seem to get into positions constantly where you'll get 3, 4, 5 good results, and it looks like everything's turning around, and then the next week you'll lose 2-0 to Bournemouth or Fulham or something, and then you'll lose a couple, and it just never seems to get to maintain. It's just a good run, and I don't know what is changing in that, because normally when clubs start to build momentum, they keep it going. In most cases, bar massive injuries, etc. But it just seems to me Ten Hag gets momentum and then he loses it and they go terrible. Then he gets momentum and then they lose it and terrible. And there's just no consistency from month to month.
There's no consistency with him. He'll pick like how does Anthony even get a game? And you got someone like Ahmad who's training hard and he's putting a couple good cameos, but yet he wants to choose someone like Anthony's. I think Ahmad's one that's stronger on the ball and can pick out a better pass. Things like that. And then it's little bits like leaving Casemiro by himself when clearly he gets skipped. Even at Real Madrid, you don't see him ever too far away from Modric and Kroos. It's just
Yeah.
This guy is abandoned so much principles, and I get it. The team on paper doesn't look great, and you've got your injuries and stuff. But even when I saw Martinez, like, let's be honest, against Aston Villa and everything like that, there was still a lot of gaps. He's awful. Like, honestly, I don't think he's tactically good enough, and I don't think he's got a good enough talent idea that's good enough for the Premier League, in my opinion. He's tried to just find result. It seems this is probably the worst football I've seen since David Moyes, and that was a good decade ago. I saw Jose Mourinho 6 at the back, and I'd rather watch Mourinho 6 at the back than watch Ten Hag, because at least under Mourinho we had chances. Like,
what about Oli?
He's awful. Oh, yeah. At least even there was no style there. His one-man press, I could say so much tactical stuff, and that'll bore the hell out of you lot. But it's just like stuff like the press, like the trigger point. How can teams like Nottingham Forest and everyone is clued up to do a proper press, and then when it comes to us, you might see Bruno Fernandes one-man press, and then there's a big gap in the middle, and then Rashford says, "Oh, you know what, mate? I think I need to press for 5 minutes before I get labelled lazy." And then before you know it, it's so much gaps, and before you know it, you're in behind, and then there's a chance. And then if it isn't for Onana lately, we'd have conceded so much more. We've conceded the second highest amount of shots in the whole of the Premier League, and just above Sheffield United.
Well, that's not what you want when you've got Haaland. Haaland.
Well, the thing is, Cass, you have, even when you were going through that winning run, you weren't playing great, and I know. Listen, now I know that's been labelled at City as well, that we were having patches. But going back to that Villa game at Villa Park, you won, but Villa technically battered you. But you got the win.
Half, they battered us, like literally from the get-go in the second half, they start to finish.
Has that papered the cracks though? Did that get Ten Hag extra time, or did people think, "Oh no"?
I don't think it matters what the results are until the backroom stuff gets all sorted. I think he will stay till. I think he goes regardless. Top 4, FA Cup. I got a feeling Nagelsmann comes in. There's a lot of more concrete links with Nagelsmann than any other manager, and Amorim. And I'd rather.
You don't think Ratcliffe will want Zidane?
I don't.
The huge global name that Zidane.
Zidane's never coming to the UK.
Zidane doesn't want to come to England. His wife doesn't want to come to England. It's already been stated that they hate the weather. They don't. And you can tell he doesn't want to learn language either.
He was Brexit before Brexit.
I like that. I'm making that.
Le Brexit.
Yeah, but people can change their minds for 30 million quid a year.
I don't think.
Don't you be breaking news? You're not Mido. Stop trying to be Mido tonight with these breaking news that he's come out with about Mo Salah. And
if you want Nagelsmann, are you relying on Germany to have a poor Euro?
I'm not relying. You know what? I'm not relying on Nagelsmann or anything like that. I'm not relying on no one. I wanted Ten Hag. So let me put this out there. I was very excited at the fact. So now I got my choice manager and it didn't work out. I just want to go with whatever I'll trust this time, the board, to go and identify something that they want to go for the next 5 years. And then I'll kind of get a base idea what they want to do. I don't care if it's Graham Potter, whether it's De Zerbi or whoever it may be. I'll back whatever they want and then I'll get behind it and then I'll start going to games again next season. Because I went to over 20 games last year. This season I haven't had the luxury. But it's like you just want the enjoyment back. I want to see some good football. I want to see some structure. I can't remember last time I see structure. It's been 10 years and you've had 4 or 5 different managers. Maybe it is the players, but the thing is, they say it's the players. I'm thinking the players that were there, if you go look at what was there 3 years ago under Oli, you see Dan James, Juan Mata, Andreas Pereira, all these players, Phil Jones, I think Chris Smalling might have left by then. But you look at it and I'm like, there are a bunch of different players. So I can blame the manager. So how many times are we going to keep making excuses for both? I think, look, you'll be lucky to get a point against the Etihad. It'll be lucky.
Do you know what? And maybe it's just me.
Every City fan should be absolutely confident.
No, I know we should. I'm just, like I said, it's a derby.
But you know what this has done to me? I've become a football fan because I can't stand Man United. I can't even be shameless no more. I've recently been making videos about other clubs because I can't stand my own.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
I'd rather talk, and I just realised, you know what? This is what I used to do. I just like talking about football objectively. And I've been told I'm a City fan because I'm living with that. or I'm a Liverpool fan because I'm praising a flipping Connor Bradley, or oh, here we go, he's praising Trent, he's on the Trent train again. I'm like, no, I just appreciate good football because my team produces crap every week that I have to go and watch. Now I can't get behind. Last year was fine when you wanted to do park the bus and counter attack. That was fine. But now this year, there's no excuses.
No,
Where's Mason Mount?
it's a very weird season, this, because you praise anyone, you've suddenly become their biggest fan. You give anyone criticism and you suddenly hate them and want them to die. And you're like, no, it's like hey, we've gone very A to Z this season with opinions, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's
no,
like,
Cass, I've said on our shows this season, I said the problem we have is a lot of players have been talked up. The only way players have been talked up is by talking someone else down.
Yeah,
I think that's why
the Grealish. You probably heard about Grealish Doku from Daps.
Oh yeah, from day dot. No, our stats. I praise Grealish from top to bottom. I'm not from the era of stats. I don't care about stats. I care about what I see.
Thank you.
With my own eyes. And I see in big games you can't win without Grealish. I'm sorry, but when it comes to Champions League, I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but if you've got a big next round, you know how important Grealish is in those games because they need two of their world-class players or something to come and do something. Doku, don't get me wrong, is best when I think around the 70th minute. Like when you want to bring him on the burners, and I think Yannick Bolasie, he was on the Filthy Fellas talking about yesterday. A lot of the players start to gas out and start to tire around 70th minute, but he's got the engine to keep going. And that's when you need your Dokus, and because they're trying to chase a game. The last person you're going at you is a Doku. But Doku's at 20 years old. Like, it's just, even I see him getting a lot of stick, and I'm thinking, leave him alone. He's been here for 6 months. Like, he's just developing.
He's changing as well in the sense that, you know, probably about the 90th minute against Bournemouth, he went all the way back and he actually won the ball, you know, on our dead ball line, took it off the Bournemouth player and brought it down the pitch. And I think he got the biggest cheer he's probably had as a City player. And that showed how much Doku is starting to change how he plays, because in the first few games, jogging back over the halfway line, that was mental for him. But he's starting to change and he's starting to pull the ball back more. And I think in some ways that is what Pep wants, but it frustrates the fans a bit because they want him to go around the outside every time and put in a cross. But if we don't have the player in the middle, you know, ready for that cross, it's pointless. So I think Doku's changing that. But some ways I like a player like him more in Europe, where we actually get space, because we often get, you know, against the bigger teams in Europe, even against the likes of Dortmund, they'll often attack us a bit more, and they won't play two banks of 5 because they know they've got to win over the legs, so they're a bit more offensive. And I think then, you know, Doku and Haaland and things on the break, you know, is definitely something that, you know, can be a bit more dangerous. But we don't often get that chance in the Prem.
Oh, Cass, stop. Don't eat into what Rich is telling you right now. Rich is a football fan who has begged for basketball football.
Leroy Sané, come back.
Years.
Yeah, but have you not noticed? Have you not noticed?
He's got a Doku shirt. He's got a
mosaic. Have you not noticed what Pep's doing? He's bamboozled everyone to think you need 4 centre backs now at the whole back line, pretty much, if not 3 and then 1, right? And then he's gone from these wingers that are more, you could say, playmakers, you could say, in a way. And now he's going back to direct football. Have you not noticed this? Have you not seen your signings like this Savio guy and all that kind of stuff, and all these other signings that he wants to get over the line? Oscar Bob,
and all them, and you're like,
he's going back to direct football because he's like, yeah, you lot are going to take another 2 seasons to get to copy again. Well, I'm going to have everyone being direct and killing off your inverted fullbacks or your centre back.
An old saying, Cass, before you figure out the question, before you figure out the answer, Pep changes the question. I need to do the super chat from LB 1998. Thank you so much for your £2. Trent, Alisson, Jota and Jones out till after March. It says that on the Premier League website, but
hey, if that's the case, I've got every bit of hope that we're going to beat them in the FA Cup.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Well, you've got that, and we got Newcastle.
We got them 17th of March, and then 2 weeks later, straight after the break, we got them at Old Trafford.
Yeah, I'm actually not happy about Alisson being injured because he's been our best player against Liverpool at least 3 of the last 4 games. He
gets protected off refs.
No, but he has a mare against us. I don't know what it is.
The linesman will help him.
Yeah, he gets help, but he has a mare. He's set up about 5 goals for City over the last couple of seasons. You know, I don't know what it is, but he just bottles it against City for some reason. Because generally, I watch Alisson. I think he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world, but against City, he bottles it every time. And Kelleher will probably bloody have a stormer. He'll be one of those annoying keepers who has a stormer against us.
One says, is MCFC lads being hacked again?
Yeah, Luke's been Luke MCFC lads. They have been hacked. He's not doing a 24 special on Fortnite, if anyone wants to know. He's been hacked again. So, and believe it or not, I'm not sure if our Twitter's been hacked as well, because I suddenly can't log into it.
Where?
So I will let everyone know about that, because I think our Twitter's been hacked. But yeah.
We'll get it back. He done it last time. Last time it was some Turkish people, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah, they're getting cleverer.
It doesn't look like there's any tweets.
No, it's just for some reason it's not
2 years ago
without doing, and it's really everything's changed, and I haven't asked it to change, which is mad.
You know, I think it's gonna be a big miss if Bernardo does end up leaving you boys at the end of the season. I think that's gonna be a big miss. He loves it. He loves a big game.
I think he will leave. Cass, people think I'm mad for this. I don't think Bernardo's been as influential this season as he has in other past seasons.
Really?
Nope. I think he's looked just not much, but about 10 or 15% just off it in most games at the minute.
I think he's been.
Yeah, he was much better against Luton, but he was definitely off it against Bournemouth and Brentford. Was it Bournemouth and Brentford, or was it the game before Brentford? But he had 2 games.
He's saving himself for Anfield.
He was really off it.
Bernabeu later on, and all these other things were matter.
Yeah, I think he is a player who's always at his best when it's a big game. He's always at his best when we're playing Real Madrid or someone like that. And I think he likes a derby as well, Bernardo. I sometimes wonder if Bernardo's a bit like the fans. You know, I think some of the fans struggle to get up for the lesser games, and we really need a month like March where every game is going to be huge. Every game's get someone who's a massive rival or a team we hate, or really get the club going. And I think Bernardo might be a bit like that now. He's doesn't get himself up for the Brentfords in quite the same way as he will do for United, Liverpool, Arsenal, etc. this month.
Can I ask a question from an outsider point of view? Nunes and Kovacic have a lot of stick from City fans this season, as Pat will tell you, Mitch. Little bit of I'm not sure if it's not big enough name at item come up or weren't. Well, I don't know what it was. But do you think they're settling in now? How does it look from that? Because for me, I think they're looking really good now, especially Kovacic. I think
Kovacic looked good at the start of the season. He was one of your better players, I think, if I believe. He just got injured, of course, because as he does. Nunes, on the other hand, I don't know. It's like Pep likes to play him. I don't know. It's like he likes to play him in positions that are not for him. Like I saw him play on the wing at some point as well. Not a few games ago, not even that long ago, and stuff like that. He's a ball carrier. When you're City, you're going to come up against defenses all the time that are going to play low blocks. So there's no space for Nunes to really invade, and he's been playing in an attacking role. Sometimes he's asked to play in a defensive role, but that's not his game. Nunes is someone I would want at Man United because we lack someone that's got a bit of a physical presence that can carry the ball and get you up the pitch. But you don't need that because you've got about 7 of them on your field anyways. So his game is proper limited. At this point, I think Nunes might be learning how to play in a Pep system, and he's allowed that because it's his first season. Do I think he suits City the way he plays though? I don't think he does. I don't think it does, in my total opinion.
He does seem to make errors when he gets pressured a bit too, Cass. I think some of his best performances have been in Champions League matches, just because I think he's just more of a European player, coming from Portugal. And I've said on this show before, I think you can almost consider his first season, and to me, his first season in Wolves a write-off because adjusting to English life, and then I think he went through about 2 or 3 managers in one season at Wolves, and then to come to another club under a Pep philosophy. I think it's almost like a reset on top of a reset. And I think even though the guy's about 25, 26, he's a lot older than, you know, a lot of young midfielders we bring in. But I still think Pep's got some long-term plans for him. And I think when he learns to not feel as much pressure when he's got players around him, I think that's when you'll start seeing him progress as a footballer. But at the moment, his best trait is when he's able to run it with space.
Someone like Paquetá or Paquetá, you want to say his name, would have fitted more. I think Nunes is just someone to fill the gap. I'll be honest. I don't think he's going to last long at City. I think Kovacic will have maybe as a longer tenure, but whilst Pep's there, I just don't see how he fits in because it's just not his game.
It'd be really interesting to know, because I think he's a Pep signing, and Pep commented, famously a couple of years ago before we played them in the Champions League. He described Nunes. He described Nunes as one of the best players, in the world, and he complimented him before the game. Then the next game, he said something similar. So he's commented a lot about Nunes before signing for City. So he obviously sees something in Nunes that he really thinks he can build. I don't think we've seen it yet, but I'd love to know what Pep's working on with him and what he thinks he will become, because it's a Pep signing. But
not every Pep signing is going to be a hit. I think a lot of you rewarded with
most of our signings are cheeky signings. They're coming through that network, but it just seems Nunes possibly a Pep signing, and I don't think most of our signings are. So that I'm interested to see next season, when he's had the whole of this season, pre-season, what Nunes' role Pep has in mind.
I think he's just going to get benched. You're going to get an attacking player that's going to replace Bernardo Silva, potentially go into the middle of the field, probably have a little bit more game time where De Bruyne probably gets a bit less. I don't see where he fits in for the game time. I think it's going to be another, not too much as bad, but another Calvin Phillips situation. Just a guy to fill in because nobody wants to play second.
He's already played about 10 times as much as Calvin, but
I think because he's got. No, I disagree, because he's versatile. And he is deceptively quick. Go back and watch that Luton game. He went up that left wing with a little bit of pace on him that no one was expecting. And I've got a real sneaky feeling, because I know people mentioned Doku, they mentioned Oscar Bob even coming out on Sunday. I don't think it'll be Bob, because he played no part against Luton. And I just think he would have done if he was going to play in the derby. I think Nunes will play on that left. And maybe that's more the fan in me than it is the tactical person in me. I'm just sat there going, I think the way Nunes carries the ball, the way he holds on to it, the way he can have a turn of pace, I think he will actually start. And it suits better.
Who does he start? Who does he start over though? Like when you deep,
I'm not starting Alvarez. I'm not starting.
But with Nunes overall, if you're going to think about it, like logically.
And I'm not starting Kovacic.
You're not going to start over
Rodri back in.
Yeah, you're not going to start over Rodri. You're not going to start over KDB. Foden clearly wants to go into the middle of the field. He's not going to start over Foden if he's there. I don't think he starts. I think Kovacic gets the nod over him, and I think even I don't know. I'm trying to think of more of your midfielders. He's like 4th or 5th in selection, I would say. So that's why I don't think he fits in. He's great.
Thing with Kovacic can only play in the middle though. Nunes can play either wing.
Yeah, but to what degree?
Well, if he plays on the left, because I've got Rodri, because this is my forward line. I've got Bernardo right, Nunes left, Rodri, KDB, Foden, Haaland.
You want Mateus Nunes on the left wing?
Mm-hmm.
I hope that happens this Sunday. I'm hoping for that.
I can tell. Look, you're loving it. You're thinking.
I hope so, because I'm thinking that means Diogo Dalot is going to have a little bit more fun. I think someone like Alvarez maybe goes on the wing, but I wouldn't start Nunes on the wing. I don't.
I think, Cass, if Nunes starts, I think the key for you guys is to try and shut him down quick. If he's receiving the ball when he's got 2 or 3 midfielders or defenders on him, I think you might actually have a little bit of success being able to dispossess and hopefully get something on the break. That's the only thing that worries me. Nunes is great when he's got space, but once he just gets a little bit of pressure, especially in that sort of area of the midfield, just inside our attacking half, and that's when we can kind of get caught a bit flat-footed.
Yeah, I don't think when you look at your lineup, you can just kind of tell who's going to start. or who's more in contention to start against Man United. Anyways, just look at the bench who got rested. Like Doku, Alvarez, I think they'll be in contention just because they didn't come on. Obviously, there's Ruben Diaz, Rodri, Phil Foden, Edison. It's kind of obvious, in my opinion. I don't think Nunes is starting. The fact he got a run out that game, I don't think he gets a run out next game. Not in my opinion. Pep's just a weirdo, though. You just don't know what he's going to do. You might even see Stones on the right wing at some point. You never know.
See, but my other thing is, Pat, I'll come to you with this. Who are you having at right back? Because I'm presuming Garnacho's going to start.
It's going to start Walker, man. You know it.
It's got to be Walker.
So does he go Walker or does he go Akanji?
It's got to be Walker.
Akanji has good games.
It's got to be Walker. And as long as it's right back Walker and not right wing back Walker.
Well, that's the next question. Because Walker against Luton wasn't going bomb. He wasn't just down the wing.
Yeah, because
his best play was a pre-assist to Kevin De Bruyne that went through about 4 or 5 defenders and midfielders.
When Stones
and that was played from a deep roll out in the right. It was like we wasn't like a cross where he was like.
Yeah, we don't need it. When Stones is back fit and playing and stepping up, we don't need it. You saw against Bournemouth, the Kanji right back, he didn't push up much. He stayed back a lot because Stones was doing all the pushing up for defence. So, basically Ake, Diaz and Akanji. And I think on Sunday it'll be Ake, Diaz and Walker will stay back and they'll let Stones will be the player who has the freedom. Stones is just levels above I think he's levels above just about any defender in world football at stepping up. And he is certainly levels above anyone else. I think Gvardiol's been signed to do that role in 2 or 3 years' time when Stones, is getting older. And to maybe do it when Stones isn't playing, because Stones isn't going to play 70 games a season. But I do think that the Walker doing it and the Akanji doing it, that's just been an attempt to cover Stones. But touch wood, Stones is fit. And he's starting to look back to where he was at the end of last season.
He's all right then. Cass thinks I'm off my head and I've lost it. Anybody else thinking I've lost it putting Nunes left wing?
I wouldn't pick Nunes left wing.
Right, so Rich thinks I've lost the plot as well then. Pat, are you going to go 3 for 3?
Well, I was even before you mentioned anything about Nunes anyway. So, look, I get what you're saying, but I just can't. In my mind, I try to see it happening, and I'm not entirely confident with it. I don't know. For me, I'm still at battle as to whether it should be Doku or Bob, and I have absolutely no problems if he were to start Bob. It's a big call, but I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be quite happy with Bob. I think we're all going to be disappointed. I think it's going to be Phil. I think it's going to be Phil and Bernardo.
See, Rich, you're killing the fella. You just wasting.
I'm not saying that's what I want, but I think Pep is going to look at the team and he's going to want. I think he's going to have Kovacic in based on form, based on the opposition, playing with Rodri, and then I think he's going to have Phil, De Bruyne, and Bernardo playing behind Haaland, and they'll probably roam around a bit. So I don't think they're going to be playing, but I think width is going to come from different players. But I do think he's going to play a solid 6, and therefore Kovacic.
Bennett, I've never said, no one has said Bernardo isn't. What we said was, I said my opinion is I think he's 10 or 15% down on his potential at the moment. That's all. I don't think he's playing at his current best that he could be at. Personally, I don't think Bernardo will be here next season. I think he'll be gone.
Good.
He's got a £50 million release clause in his contract for a reason that he asked for. He asked for. Players don't ask for release clauses if they want to stick around.
Well, or they want to control the money. I mean, look at Haaland. Haaland's had release clause everywhere he's been because it's made him
50 million.
It's made him rich.
3/4 of the Premier League could bid for him.
Yeah. It's not 50 million, but he's also a hell of a lot more valuable than Bernardo. You know, he's 6 years younger than Bernardo and one of the biggest names in the game. So, you know, you could argue that, you know, Haaland's buyout clause at 180 million compared to the prices Chelsea have paid for players is a bargain. But, you know, I think Bernardo's just taking control. It means he's got the choice. And it means he's going to get the money because he's an 80, 90 million player. So he's going to, wherever he goes, he's going to get a massive signing on fee unless he's prepared to take a hit and go to Barca or Benfica or, you know, get himself down to the Mediterranean or, you know, down to Portugal.
Rich, I still think the 50 million was put in there as like a financial test for these, you know, continental European teams that are interested in, or that he's interested in, and they're also interested in getting him. Barcelona really have to get all their ducks in a row financially if they want to be able to afford him.
It removes the nonsense.
Even if they signed him similar to what they did with Ferran Torres, where it was, you know, 50 million over the course of the entire contract, they are really going to struggle to be able to pay that. Really going to struggle. So I think for them, they have to sell a ton of players, or they have to somehow find more future assets to sell off to get more money, or whatever rules you feel like they're bending at the moment to stay afloat. For me, Benfica, I still think feels like a more logical, or it seems like it would make a bit more sense financially because, you know, Benfica can have money coming through the door tomorrow. You know, if they sell João Neves, you know, what are we talking, 120 million euro? Well, there you go. There's your money for Bernardo straight away. So that's another option as well there too. But I do think there's so many teams out there in Europe right now that just can't afford to pay 50 million for a player. You know, we get our money back from what we got for him, you know, from Monaco in 2017. But at the moment, like if you look at it in terms of financial thing, you know, I think the first name on everybody's lips would probably be that could afford him straight off the bat would be PSG. But we don't know if he wants to. We don't know if in his mind, like, you know, France is closer to home. Well, it would be slightly closer to home, but it's not the Mediterranean. So I don't know. I think this summer will be interesting. But the problem is like I just don't want it to be like every other transfer window where it just drags on until the final day. Will he stay? Will he go? You know, I'd rather we know just straight away, or, you know, in an ideal world, it'd be perfect if we knew before the Euros kicked off.
Oh yeah, Cass, here's a funny question for you. Would Cass take KP?
No, not anymore. Well, Young's better than him.
I think he'll end up back at Leeds. I think so.
They'll end up getting promoted or something, and then he goes back to Leeds, and it's probably what they need, anyways.
He's going to end up back at Leeds. Right, we'll get into the lineups because obviously I don't want to keep you too long, Cass. Because I know you've done well. You got off your ill bed. And I do appreciate that so much. You've not even been on your own channel this week, hardly.
No, I've been there once.
You know, I appreciate that, mate. So I don't want to keep you too long. We will carry on and talk about the FA Cup draw as well. Because Rich loves a Newcastle game. Does your lineup pick itself then, Cass? Really coming into Sunday.
Yeah, well, what, just the Man United lineup or the Man City lineup?
Well, we can do either if you want.
Well, Man United is pretty easy. It's going to be Dalot, Lindelof, Varane, and Amrabat. It's going to have Casemiro and Kobe. Bruno Fernandes will somehow play. And then he'll have Rashford up top, Garnacho, and he's going to start Anthony. 1,000,000% going to start Anthony.
Well, does that mean I'm going to have to watch Bruno Fernandes and Anthony just whine and whinge and simper and cry all game?
Yeah, probably. Bruno Fernandes
the best thing United could do is get a new captain.
Yeah, Maguire was a better captain.
I'm not going to, I hate Fernandes. I'm not going to diss his ability as a footballer, but as a leader, he's got to be the worst captain I've seen in Premier League. Great. He is a good footballer. I won't deny that. But as a captain, you need a leader. And every time you see him on TV, you see Roy Keane's face when he's talking about him. Roy Keane just wants to go and punch him. He really does.
If Ineos are serious, they get rid of him this summer. If there's a big offer, just get rid of him. That there, he's like nearly 30 anyways. Just get rid of him.
Yeah.
I can't stand the way he plays football. Honestly, I can't stand him.
Couldn't agree more.
Right, Cass, going to ask you. I want a head. I don't want score prediction. Just give me draw, win, or loss. You can give me. I'm going to start with your heart.
Head and heart, yeah.
Oh, the heart. My heart tells me draw.
Now, what should I doing?
Battering.
Oh, go on. Now I will push you for the score prediction.
Dead serious. I think we lose 4-1.
Ooh.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that. There's been a lot of fours coming out of United fans' mouths lately. It's a lot of fours.
I've got nothing to be optimistic about. Nothing. Unless he decided to have a great half and somehow managed to get a goal at halftime, even if it is 2-1 City, then cool. But I just don't see it. Absolute woeful. Unless somehow we pulled something like when we went to Anfield, somehow we were actually decent. I think we were a better team as well. Just
That's
about.
what I mean. You can do it. It is in your locker.
You can do it. Do I think it's gonna happen? Nah.
That's what I mean. You did go to Anfield and absolutely stifle the shit out of them.
Nah. I just don't see it. Not when you got Haaland up front.
And the thing is, I'm not here to give you optimism. This is what I'll tell you. We're better away than we are at home this season.
I don't know what we're good at this season.
No, and I personally, I do think we'll win, but I don't think it's going to be a mauling like many are suggesting.
I can't lie. I just know I'm going to stick the TV on for about 10 minutes. I'm going to turn it straight off because I know what's going to happen. And then, you got Marcus Rashford coming out with more PR stuff about don't judge him as a character and all this crap. So put in a performance then. Run. How about some running will do, some bit of heart. I don't really give it.
He's becoming a real enigma.
I'd sell him as well. Yeah. I would honestly sell him as well. I've had enough of this guy's PR. It makes me sick. Honestly, I don't care that he's born and bred Manc, a red and all that, and he had to go 2 buses to get to training. I don't give a shit. I had to go on a train and a bus to get to Millwall training. What am I moaning about it? Sell him. Honestly, can't stand him. Can't stand the geezer. He cannot read the room. The reason he's come out, you've just gone out of D Block Europe, which is a music group and that. You just lost. Read the room, mate. Even on the overlap, Roy Keane and that they're baffled for good reason. When you lose, you don't go out. You know what I mean? You get your head down until you can go out. Like, I don't care. Yeah, you got to be a human being. Don't get me wrong. I know all of that kind of stuff, but I don't care. You have to do a job, mate. The least someone can ask for you is to put a bit of effort in, rather than run around and let Iwobi run rings around you. Iwobi at Old Trafford says everything I need to know. Absolute head loss.
There's no chance Jack they're playing Grealish on injections, mate. No chance. They won't make that same mistake again. No chance. Pat, where are you at with R11?
I think we can all agree on, who's going to play where, just apart from that left side, because, you just realize now, you don't know what you got until it's gone, with obviously Grealish not being able to play. Defensively, I think it speaks for itself. It's like, whether you think Walker should start, whether you think Akanji should start, it's a win-win situation anyway. During the show, I keep taking my mind back to when we played this fixture last season, and everybody was absolute shoo-in for Rodri to start. Next thing you know, you find out Gundogan's playing in the 6th role. Rodri didn't even play a single minute in this match, which was totally unexpected. I'm not expecting the same thing to happen, though.
He wasn't available to play.
I'm sure he was on the bench.
He wasn't. No, he wasn't. He wasn't fit and available. He was out.
Oh, gosh. I could have sworn he was on the bench. Anyway, no, disregard that. Yeah, and then you know, it's just if you look at the current form that certain players are in at the moment. I mean, you know, Stones has to start 100% because not just because he's a good centre back, but just because the man can play everything up until a bloody false five. As far as I'm concerned, he can play everywhere. Yeah, so for me, it's just I think we can all agree who's going to be midfield, who's going to be attacker. It was just that left side. I think was just open for discussion.
So you're not playing Alvarez?
No.
Rich?
My head and my heart are aligned. I think we're going to win narrowly by 2-0. And I think Kovacic plays. I think Kovacic plays. And I think we'll see like that Bernardo, De Bruyne, Foden supporting Haaland. And that probably does mean Foden's going to be going wide a bit. But I think it'll be all about control. And I think we'll see Stones stepping up with Kovacic and Rodri, real solid control in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, probably not creating hundreds of chances, but, you know, creating enough chances to win comfortably. But I don't think it'll be a thrashing. And I don't think we'll go for. I don't think generally we go for thrashings. I think if we feel we've got a game won, you know, we've seen it against United time after time. There was a game, a couple of years ago, we won 6-3, and it looked like we could go on to get 10 or 12, but we just took players off and, you know, let United back into the game with a couple of goals. And I just think that Pep sees the 3 points. I don't think he sees any need to waste energy, and especially with Arsenal and Liverpool coming up. I think we'll do what we need to and no more.
Yeah, Rich, that's what I agree with you with. I think Kovacic, Rodri, and then John Stones coming into midfield. It's just we're just going to flood the midfield, and then it should be able to get 2-3 goal lead or something. It'll just become death by 1,000 passes. Just control football off the park, basically.
Yeah,
we'll see. We shall see. What, Cass, while you're on it, you're going to hit Manchester's blood? Are you going to admit it?
What?
Are you going to admit Manchester's blood?
I mean, I think the last decades, I think a Champions League and multiple Premier Leagues is enough. No?
No,
but unless it's on Sunday, I mean, don't lose.
Cass, if City were to win the Champions League again this season, would that start terrifying the United fan base, knowing that we're only one off then from matching you lot?
I lose my shit.
Yeah.
Cass, just let you know, before you send me the message, if we lose, I'm not available on Monday.
Definitely.
Just so you know. I can't face it. I'm going into hiding.
Who's refereeing on Sunday?
Andy Madley.
What, the one that looks like a thumb?
Yeah, I'm sure it's Andy Madley. Does he look like a thumb?
Oh, him? No, it's not him. It's not him. No, he's that. No, it's not. It's not the one. I see what he is. Who he is? Yeah, we've lost.
You were hoping for Howard Webb to come back.
Yeah. We're trying to get Taylor. Where's that United season?
I can't. No.
Where's that Altrincham fan?
Oh, Anthony Taylor, I can't stand him. Oh my! You know what? There's a few refs I don't mind, to be fair, but it's just some refs I just absolutely can't stand. Honestly, the one being up there, Michael Oliver, and Anthony Taylor, and
I'm being biased because he's Aussie, but I do like Jared Gillett.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah,
I'll tell you what, he gave us a few favourable decisions against Bournemouth last weekend.
Ever since Joe Hart got up in and what's his name? In what's his face? I just said his name. What's his name though? Geordie fella.
I
can't remember his name. I just said his name and I can't remember his name now.
Footballer.
No, referee.
Oh.
Michael Oliver, that's it.
No,
ever since he's got up in Joe Hart got up in his face and Joe Hart didn't get sent off for shit, I just knew it. I'm never gonna like this ref. Still remember it like it was yesterday. Can't stand him. Yeah, there's another one. Someone said Paul Tierney's awful.
Yeah. Listen, there's not many decent referees anymore. Full stop. The officials are shocking.
It's a shame we can't get more European referees in.
I can't lie though. I wouldn't mind the ref. Who was the ref for last year when we got a dodgy Rashford one? I wouldn't mind him.
Dodgy.
Atwell.
Was
The
that,
dodgy Rashford one.
Atwell, yeah.
Yeah.
who was in the VAR box though? Because it was really them who.
That was Oliver.
Oh, it was
that
Oliver,
Oliver?
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Still-
Howard Webb comes out a few days later and says, "Yes, we did make a mistake." Of course.
Kane's
It's
gone
still the
4-0.
worst.
Blue Goat's gone 10-0.
It's just lucky that was against City, not the Scousers. Imagine the Red Scouse if that goal had been allowed against them.
See, I'm with Cass. I think United score. I'm going 2-1 or 3-1. Nervous. I won't enjoy it. I will be sat in my seat singing away. I don't want any kind of flashing lights. You put Blue Moon on when the teams are in the tunnel. Let us do our shit, and we will rock the Etihad.
For how
Cass,
long?
you had a choice. You had a choice to win one of the
Just gotta go 1 sec.
United Liverpool matches, league or cup. Which one would you take?
Say again, sorry.
Out of the so you obviously got you're playing Liverpool at home on back-to-back fixtures with the international break in between. If you had to pick one, which one would you like to win? Which match?
No, Premier League all day long.
Premier League. Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't. They can't have a second Premier League. I'd rather you lot win the second Champions League than win the second Premier League.
Yeah, I was going to say FA Cup because I still think we can win the league, but I'd rather just you guys knock them off getting the FA Cup and trying to go for that.
I'm going to be honest. I know I shouldn't really be confident, but I don't care how crap Man United are. I don't believe in this Liverpool team currently beating Man United in the FA Cup or the league. I'll be very honest.
That's what we were saying earlier on about Anfield. It's not about Liverpool's 11, it's strongest 11. It's the Liverpool current 11. While they've got all these players missing. It's all right beating Southampton, but City and that are not Southampton, with due respect.
I feel like they've had a lot of home games lately.
You know, it is what it is. And by the way, before anyone comes, that's no disrespect on Klopp's kids. Then they've done remarkably well, but put things into perspective here, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, Cass, obviously stick around, I'll stay, but we're going to have a little chat about FA Cup and have 10 minutes on the podcast. But if you want to jump, off you go, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Oh, appreciate it. Love.
But yeah, if you haven't get over to Never a Foul, go and show Cass Daps and that a lot of love.
Thanks, Cass.
They are amazing. And I will be on there Monday, 11:15. Right. I just want to get... because I wasn't going to do this, but I want to do just 15 minutes on FA Cup. We've had the draw against Newcastle at home. So the Brighton game's now been moved. That's now been moved. So we don't have to worry about an away trip to Brighton. Always seems to get moved, that. How are you feeling, Pat, with Newcastle? Home trip, home tie?
Yeah, really good. Really, really good. I'm glad we're playing them because, I think their form is very, very inconsistent. Certainly since the turn of the new year. I'm really confident we can get a result. They're struggling to find form at a time of the year when we find our best form. So, for me, regardless of what happens in the derby, regardless of what happens at Anfield, if we win, we'll have the momentum. If we don't win, then the team's going to have the bit between their teeth. And I'm not saying we'll batter United, but Newcastle. But I think I'm really happy with who we drew, and look, I'm confident of a win in that one. I think the only draw that may have been a little bit of a head in the FA Cup. May have been a little bit a headache. Probably would have either been Anfield, because I don't like the idea of playing them twice, and possibly Wolves, because Wolves for me they're almost turned into a bit of a dark horse in this competition, and they're exceeding all expectations in the league, and they actually grinded out a really good little 1-0 win against Brighton yesterday. So whatever Gary O'Neill is getting out of those players, they're singing a tune and they're doing a fantastic job. So I think whoever has to play them, they're going to make it really, really difficult. And I believe Wolves got the luxury of they got the lowest ranked team in Coventry at home, I think. Is it Coventry at home? So they'll have all the confidence in thinking that they can definitely get to Wembley for a semi-final. And of course, once you get to Wembley, anything can happen. So, I've got to give a lot of praise to what Gary O'Neill's been doing with that Wolves squad, and big shout out too. I think Tommy Doyle got man of the match for his performance against Brighton yesterday as well too. So, that's another big plus for our City Academy. So, yeah, I'm glad we're not playing Wolves, and I think if we keep progressing the FA Cup at any stage, I think I'd prefer not to meet them, even even if we get to the final.
Yeah. So you'd rather have Liverpool in the final than Wolves? I'd rather have Wolves in the final than.
Well, yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Rich. But I still think Wolves can be an unknown commodity.
They can.
And if we're just a fraction off our game, we showed it at the Molineux earlier this season. If we're just a fraction off it, they will make it difficult for us.
Yeah, but I think the same is true of Liverpool United, and they've got a lot more experience in those big games and a lot more likely to play well. To me, a home draw, is what you want. And if you get a home draw, you're already in the best sort of half of the options. And then when you get a home draw, and it's probably Newcastle are one of the middle teams that we could have got, certainly, better for us than getting United or Liverpool, probably, possibly Wolves. I think short of getting Coventry at home or something, it's as good a draw as we could hope. I know Newcastle beat us in the Carling Cup this year, but that was a game that was an absolute dead rubber for us because we knew we couldn't progress.
We're screwed if we win it. Yeah,
Saudi Arabia. So I've just never seen Newcastle look like they believe they can win us for years. They've played one or two good games against us in about 20. Yeah, but even at Newcastle, I don't know that they've really looked like they think they can win. They've had some good moments. They had that 3-3 last season, where St. Maximin just ran wild when Pep tried Walker in a inverted fullback centre midfield role. But
that was stupid.
I think it's as good a draw as we could reasonably expect, and I think we'll go through. And then it's just a question of who we're playing at Wembley. I've just got a bizarre feeling it's going to be another City United FA Cup final.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is really going to make you all laugh. Guess who's not here for the FA Cup final again?
You?
Yeah.
I was going to say Darwin Nunes, but I thought that'd be a bit random.
I'm here for the Champions League final if we get here, but I'm not here for the FA Cup final. Stop putting holidays. Oh, so no, I'm just pissed off about it. By the way, my missus has now found out that while we are in Orlando, that Manchester City are playing at the camp, whatever it's called, stadium. I did have to.
Were you just going to pop out? So I'm just popping out for a bite to eat. I'll be back in a
come back 12 hours later.
You know what I was going to do? Honestly, I was going to say, because obviously she's really bothered about going on all these theme parks for like a week. So I was like, tell you what, we'll have a day off from theme parks. We'll go to a nice sporting event. And then she listened, and told that, and I was like, okay, yeah, we're going watching City in Orlando. Never mind.
As far as I know, there's a lot of good shopping malls around there, mate. So maybe just
you've got Bells, you've got Florida Mall. Listen, I've been Orlando. Get loads. I know.
Just give her the nice travel card, gift card, or something, and I'm sure she'll just absolutely.
I know Orlando like the back of my hand, mate. I've been 1,000 times to America, all over the place. Right.
Sorry, we're just going to talk quickly about FA Cup because obviously then the big thing comes. If we beat Newcastle, then it comes down to that seesaw, that juggling between Champions League,
who we get
and FA Cup.
League.
Yep, because I was just trying to bring up the dates here. So funnily enough, actually, it's kind of it kind of wedges in between Champions League quarters and semis. So The quarterfinals of the Champions League are on the 16th and 17th of April. The semi-final will be on the weekend of the 20th of April. Should we progress to the semi-final, then the semi-finals don't start until the 30th of April, 1st of May. So there's actually a little bit of daylight between the FA Cup and the semi-finals this year. Not one backed up on the other, but for that reason, then it's obviously the quarterfinals that seem to back up against the FA Cup semi-final. So it's just slightly different, but I mean, you still basically got one after the other, 3 days apart. So
yeah, that's when you're hoping for a nice situation in terms of because this is going to sound awful. You're going to want, if we beat Newcastle, because I'm still going to give Newcastle the respect they deserve. I do think we'll win, but Rich, you can easily get a Wolves or Coventry.
Yep. So can I just quickly add too? Can I just add too, mate?
That's your Sheffield United of last season. And then you're sort of like, right, that can go to bed now till the end of May. I'm still not mentioning the bleeding T word. The T word is not coming out yet. If we beat United and we beat Liverpool and Arsenal, I may start using the T word again.
Yeah, I must admit, I think we'll have a lot of clarity in March because I think we've looked so good in Europe that, and we got the monkey off our back last year that I've always felt quite confident that I do think we can go back to back in the Champions League this year. I think, the FA Cups can be a bit of a lottery, but I think we're really well positioned now. We're really well positioned now, and the Premier League's the hard one. I've maintained a belief we're going to win the Premier League all season, but in recent weeks, I actually think the best team in the last month in the Premier League's been Arsenal, and they're, are they going to bottle it again? That's interesting to me. Or has last year taught Arteta something? In a way, a lot, huge game for Arsenal, Porto. And I'm not sure what's the best for them because I think if they go out to Porto, that frees them up to concentrate on the Premier League, which may help. But I think
they did the same thing in Europa League too, Rich. They did the same thing in Europa, dropped out, and it just messed with their heads.
Yeah, and so it can mess with their heads.
It hurt them, yeah.
Yeah, but I do think if they stay in the Champions League, I don't think they've got the experience to go to a Champions League final and win the Premier League. I don't think they're going to be able to play at that standard Wednesday, Saturday in quarterfinals and semi-finals. So, that's in a way, their best chance would be losing to Porto and then not losing it mentally. But I think there's a fair chance they would lose it mentally if they lost to Porto. So, that's interesting. Liverpool. Yeah, they're just hanging around like a bad smell, aren't they? I remember, I don't think they've looked good in any big game this season.
Rich,
they're battering bad teams, but Klopp has got them. They've won the Carabao Cup, and I'm not going to knock that. They won it. That's a trophy, and that's what people are going for. So,
listen, mate, I know you're on the move, mate, but if you want to jump in, just stay off camera. You're more than welcome, mate. Abid Suleiman, so sorry for your loss tonight, mate, and I hope we are helping with you. But DMs are open, emails are open. We've said this to everyone. I have got in touch with Muddy Duck as well. I'm waiting on a reply. Muddy Duck will come back to me. I nearly all told you his real name there. Won't do that. So, yes, lots of love to Muddy Duck. Everyone in the chat, that is amazing. But Abid, thank you. We are with you, mate.
To you, Abid.
We are with you. Major condolences, mate.
Yeah, Martin, just wanted to add too, if we make the FA Cup semi-final, guess what fixture gets moved then? Tottenham away.
Ooh,
Tottenham away is the same weekend as the FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah, that becomes a night game. Ooh.
Yes. Midweek night game, which...
Sorry, what? Nico Carrillo, are you Argentinian? Is that why you're saying that? Julian is better than Haaland, guys. No, he's not.
He's definitely wearing his River Plate shirt as well.
You've either got a River Plate shirt on or you're Argentinian. Which one is it?
Yeah.
Because he's not better than him, mate. He's a brilliant player. We love him, but he's
different
not
dynamic, mate.
Haaland.
Yeah, great player, but different dynamic.
Yeah. Did Newcastle beat us in the League Cup at their place? Yes, but we didn't take it serious because we had the World Club Cup and we had to go out of the League Cup because we couldn't be in two competitions at the same time because FIFA didn't want to help us. But Pep told everyone beforehand that.
Well, to be fair, I think it's I'd blame the Carabao Cup more than FIFA. Well, unless FIFA held the Carabao Cup because you can't move from World Club Championships.
And that's nothing against Newcastle, by the way. That's nothing against Newcastle.
Yeah, it was nothing. It was not Newcastle at all.
It wasn't their fault. It was just we got put into a situation where we couldn't carry on in the competition because of where we were in December.
If we'd made it through to that round of the Carabao Cup, we quite literally would have been playing our academy 24 hours before the Club World Cup final.
And academy coaches and the academy medical team,
Yep.
because the whole of the first team would have been in Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
So, yeah. No, by the way, my missus goes to the games with me. So she loves it. So it was more of we're on holiday. Why are you watching Manchester City when we're on holiday? Don't forget to go and love a lot of love. Now, we'll probably close up here because I know Rich needs to go. So, Rich, you say goodbyes and me and Pat will just finish up for 5 if Pat's still got 5 minutes.
Yeah. Goodbye, and hopefully we'll be chatting in a few days with
Are you around Sunday night, Rich?
happy faces. I don't know. Because it depends. It'd have to be quite early Sunday night, so before work. So yeah, I'll put it on WhatsApp, but I could do it if it's early. Who knows what state I'll be in if I have to, because it's bloody 2:00 in the morning, isn't it?
Part bleeding timer.
It's 2 a.m., isn't it, Pat? Here,
Co-owner of a channel.
With your jet lag, mate, you should be bright as a button at that time of the morning.
Co-owner of a channel who's never around for his own
Forward
channel.
thinking, mate. Forward thinking.
Kind of a co-owner, are you? Hey, co-owner, get out and gay.
I'm like the Glazers, sit in a foreign country, just
sit in the background and just take it all in, yeah.
letting everything crumble around me and just taking out, putting in big loans.
All right, so we'll start calling you Joel Glazer. Start calling you Joel.
Yeah, I think that makes Pat the other one.
Be safe, mate. Thanks for
joining, mate.
Thanks. Bye.
Yes, Cade, I did hear all about the Palace co-owner talking about FFP ruining the football. The absolute cheek of these owners to come out now. Yeah, well done, Stevie. Thank you for that. Great shop. Wish you could have joined on the move. Don't worry, Vader. Thank you, mate, for always inviting. You know that. I did invite Andy on as well, but he wasn't here. He was too busy getting ready to go to Benidorm to miss the derby. Never a foul is decent yet. See me on there 11:15 on Monday. Thank you so much. No, never thank you, mate. It's so sad to hear what you've gone through tonight, honestly. Let's hope the only trophy Liverpool win. I tell you, they'll make it bleeding. By the way, I went to Liverpool the other day. They had banners everywhere for the League Cup. Honestly, you thought it was the Champions League they'd won.
I don't even think we had that many banners up when we had the treble bus parade.
Yeah, I mean, serious. I had to go and see a specialist about the Alzheimer's, and they were in Liverpool. And my God, it was,
Carabao World Cup of the Universe.
Well done. Thank you, Blue Out. Lovely that. No, listen, Julian is a World Cup winner. No one. This is the thing, Blue Out. For some reason this year, we're comparing players and can't say one without slagging another one. I don't get it this year. They're both great players. Right. I'm just trying to think where we go. Do you want to talk about the podcast slightly, or do you want to leave that? I'll leave that in your court, Pat.
What's this about? What do you...
The podcast between Nick Harris and Stefan.
Oh,
Because if you've not heard, it's all kicked off.
LB did have a show on with Tone a few hours ago, and he was talking.
It's all kicked off. Nick Harris banned Stefan, put a load of tweets out, nasty tweets, then deleted them.
Yeah,
then
I heard about
Stefan
that.
blocked him, and it's really gone off.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Nick Harris has gone around blocking nearly every City fan going.
Yeah. So basically a regen of Miguel Delaney. Anytime a City fan just throws some sort of truth at him at X on Twitter, he just goes and blocks them.
Yeah, he's
just one little bitter red-sided journalist again, and it doesn't matter which red it is.
Yeah. Pat did put a link in on the 6 of the Best show, which we did on Tuesday night. So if you're wanting to know what podcast we're on about, there is a link underneath it in the comment section. By the way, big up to all of you on that. It was Luton Town in the FA Cup. We were not expecting 2,500 people and nearly 300 likes. Thank you so much. I have responded to every single comment, as we always do here on the Mancunian way.
Yeah.
I don't care if there's 1,000 comments, we comment. Can be me, can be Pat, can be Ozzy's putting out amazing stuff out on Instagram. We cannot thank people enough that the show and the channel is growing so much, and it's what it is. It's family, and we're loving it, and thank you so much. Mike, we need to have some streams, send some support to Jack as he's down in the dumps to repeat injury. We need to cheer him up. Absolutely spot on, Ricardo. I'm always up for that, but trouble is, some fans just don't like Jack. And there's FIFA sharing Better Games TV. Which is definitely a friend of the show. Great. Crystal Palace wanting to close all their owners. I wonder why. Exactly. Go over, give Vader a lot of love.
I was going to say too, if anybody wants to do a bit of a raid tomorrow, Mulv and McCune are doing a sort of call-in show, phone-in show, I believe, with their Noisy Neighbours podcast here on YouTube. That's going to be streamed. That's going to be streamed at around about midday. Well, midday here. I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern in
Who's
USA. Mulvin McCune, Noisy Neighbours. They're doing a YouTube phone-in show.
Oh, that.
Yeah. So I'll be around because it's on a midday. That'll be about 1 a.m. for you. So I'm sure you'll be around somewhere.
I'll be up.
You'll be up. Yeah.
Paul hasn't got a YouTube channel.
Sorry?
No, he hasn't got. You know he doesn't.
Yes, he does. I'll send you the bloody link for it. Hang on a sec. Yeah, talk amongst yourselves, everybody. Because
does he?
Yes, he does. Hang on. Are you even following it? Like,
well, I would have been doing, yeah.
Because
I'm in a WhatsApp group with him. Because that's why I've not put him on the links underneath in the description.
Oh well.
Maybe I'm not subscribed to it. The charity stream, I've made the decision, will be on Saturday. I'm just going to get it for you now. It will be on Saturday, the 23rd of March. I'm just going to put it in the chat.
All right, mate. I've just sent that link to you now on your WhatsApp. I'll also put it in the chat here as well. Anybody wants to.
For anyone who wants to know, it is now confirmed that charity stream will be on Saturday, the 23rd of March, 2024, starting at 12 p.m. We'll finish at 12 a.m. I have had confirmation. JSGC is coming on. Big Steve is coming on. City Extra coming on. 9320 Pubcast are coming on. Not all at the same time. These are all going to be nervous. They're separate shows. Obviously, our gang, our lot will be coming in and out through the day. They'll have open access for all the 12 hours. They don't need to be on. LB and Nobbins, hopefully, obviously won't be all on at the same time, but there's loads in there. It's going to be an action-packed 12 hours. I will be having breaks in between because obviously you can't go 12 hours non-stop. But we'll be in there, coming and going. Noisy Neighbours are coming in. Mulv, Amos, Murphy, City Report, they're coming in. There's loads coming in. So, yeah, there'll be a lot of love for that. And there'll be
looking
loads
forward to it, yeah.
We'll be giving away the £50 City voucher, the £25 City voucher, and the treble winning medal as well. So, yeah, stick that in your diaries. That's now confirmed. I'm not nervous one bit for Sunday. I am. There you go. It's in there. Smart football fans know what Jack... Listen, it's about different keys for different locks, as people have put. I will try and get one for you. I'm currently in discussions with them now. I'm sending emails, so I will get it. But I'm going to show proof and everything, FIFA. Don't worry. I've also got in touch with YouTube to see for that stream if I can set it up as a charity one where they don't take the percentage off. So I have sorted out that as well. Thank you, Jordy Toompa Life, and see you down at the Etihad in a few weeks, mate, for a good game. I really want to listen to them, but couldn't stand listening to Harris. Harris doesn't really speak a lot. He gets owned a lot, and that's what's caused the problem. Thank you very much, Timmer. Thank you. Anyway, Pat, thank you for joining us, mate.
No, thank you, Martin. Thanks again. Thanks to everybody for coming on, and everybody in the chat. Thanks for all your support and good messages, of course. And I want to say I'm confident, but it's a derby, so you're obviously going to go through the roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, my phone will be going crackers on Sunday. I will be at the game, as I am at every game now. We will be live Sunday night. As much as Rich wants, it won't be an early one. It will be a later one, sadly, because I've got a few shows when I get back. There's Judge Mo, LB, there's loads. There's a lot of City content going to happen on Sunday, win, lose or draw. But we will be live. So the reason we don't do ours early is because I don't want to fight everyone else for real estate. Because if we come back and go live at 8, everyone else is live at 8, and then you're all having to choose who you listen to. We go later, everyone else has been and done. So it helps, if that makes sense. Plus, it helps the lads over in us. If we win, we'll get Alan on. If we lose, Alan will be nowhere near the show. Mark Fogg, you are a saint. Thank you so much, mate, for your 5 gifted memberships. Again, so generous. Thank you so much. Martin Harlan needs to stop hitting the goalkeeper with his shots. Well, he didn't the other day. Jordan, take care, mate. W's and fire in the chat for Mark Fogg. Absolute saint. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Great show. Don't forget to go and give a lot of love to Cass over on Never a Foul. All the City channels are down in the description below. So go and show them all a lot of love. Better Games, 9320 Pubcast. Don't forget, Manway is your code for 10% off at savageonlinestores.co.uk. Grab yourself an amazing little bit of deal and a free coaster by just putting in that code Manway for 10% off all your orders. Go and give a lot of love. Amazing stuff. We'll also be doing a giveaway on Sunday night as well for February's memberships, where you'll be getting a mug, coaster, and keyring set of your choice free for just being part of the memberships. It is a very positive podcast. I'm with you. Thank you, Dudley. Alan, his family, get him on the show. No, Blue Hat. It's not about that. It's about the way Alan reacts if we lose.
You know what they say, nobody hates like family.
Because Alan will say things that will get us kicked off the air, Blue Art. Great show. I've been listening to it. MCFR-TV. Go and show them a lot of love as well. Great up-and-coming show. Amazing. Go and give them a lot of love. alongside MCFC Connect. If we win 7-1, we will have moaners because they scored one. Just been no worries, mate. You don't always have to. You can do a bit of lurking. Let's get some last second likes. And guys, yes, you can smash that thumbs up. Every little helps. We are Tesco. And also, we are trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by May 2024. And we are getting a lot closer than I imagined. So keep helping. Thank you so much, Pat. You're a saint. You're a scholar. You're a legend. Thank you, mate.
Scholar. Thanks, mate. That's what we're known for in Australia.
No, I said scallop.
No, you said scholar.
No, I said you
Don't move the goalpost. Don't move the goalpost.
Pat's going to go and have a bath in Vegemite. I'm going to go and start my night job. But when someone mentioned Vegemite earlier on.
Yeah.
I think it was DC. I think said I want to.
It was someone, yeah.
Sorry, DC, if you're still here. It's a joke. Big up Martin, Pat, Rich, and all the brilliant gang. Thank you, Lina. Smash them likes. Martin, did you go looting away now? No, I couldn't get there. I tried to get tickets. I was even begging Daps right up until about the day of the game. Couldn't get there. Good night, Matt. You are a legend. Thank you. Big up, Skipper. All right. Big up, Skipper. He's frozen. Take care. Look, DC, of course it was me. We know we love you, DC. We're only joking. Yeah. Anyway, so look, he comes back and he's smiling because he's like, Jesus. Who needs Tinder when you got the Mancunian way?
Who would have thought? When you set out on this.
You don't swipe left in this one. Take care, all, and we'll see you all for Sunday night for the Mancunian Manchester derby, where we will prove once again Manchester is and forever will be blue. Take care, City Blues.
Come on. Go on.